house. They were going to prepare to live in the house. They were going to renovate it. The people
Okay.
said
You're
they,
Union?
they were going to do that. They were contractors, and they said they liked the house and they would like to live in it. And they were slow about doing it, but they knew that I stayed busy. I had a lot of sickness, a lot of death, a lot of this. And the guy, I really knew and I trusted him, but he was with another person, which was a female, and got him all deranged. So at the last ending of everything, it did not happen that way. So they started to tear down some parts and they left some parts up. So I had other people, professional people look at it and they said, this is demolishing. So I don't have the money like I did have when I did get it added together. So I was wondering if Jefferson Township can help me possibly try to get the house demolished, and that's what I'm here for.
My first initial response to that is that if we do that for you, then we gotta do it for everybody. There's a lot of houses in this township that need demolished. And I can't take taxpayers' dollars and do your house. Most time we do demolition, it's a house that's done through a process called land bank, and there's federal money that tears that house down. We as a township do not have, we're so tight on funds, we don't, because it takes quite a bit of money to tear a house down. Especially with asbestos, you gotta take care of the shingles, there's a lot of things you have to do. It's not just going in there with my excavator and tearing it down and giving it to Steve Roush. There's things that have to be done to it.
Right.
So,
We have,
Just to share that in Harrison Township, we have been going through a lot of demolitions. And if we as a township have to tear a house down, as you said, you have to consider that there's asbestos in it regardless, and it is costing $30,000 for us to tear it down.
That's a lot.
So, as you said, it's a very expensive investment.
yeah.
So I'm here to let you all know I am doing the best I can. I do see my house as a nuisance. I am trying to do the best I can, all avenues that I can. I had it established once, and then, like you said, you depend on someone that you thought that you can depend on, and now it's like a disaster. So I'm had to start all over again on this situation.
Okay. Well, thanks for your input.
thank you.
Go ahead.
My concern with these vacant houses not being torn down, I live on 11 Davenport Avenue, and there's an abandoned apartment, which she was talking about, that's behind me diagonally. There's one right next to me. Both of them have been abandoned. I've never seen anybody come in and out of there besides drug addicts. And the dead body they pulled out, what, 3-4 years ago? Because people are just going in there, shooting up, dying, and it's just the luck of the draw who finds them. Those apartments have been sitting there abandoned forever.
Well, they boarded up.
Yes, but that doesn't matter. They take them down, the guy put up a no trespassing sign, it's not keeping anybody out. Right now, he's going through messing with the one behind me. He's got new stuff going in there, they're probably gonna clean it up and try and get people in there, but the place has been sitting vacant. Like I said, I've only been there for 14 years, and it's been vacant since before I moved in there. So I can only imagine what the inside's like and how you could put people back in that house at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Well, believe it or not, there's some people that are coming and buying property. There's a lot of people that's buying property. And they're buying some of the property you probably think they would never want. I don't know if the properties that you all are talking about happens to be one of those, but there are people coming in buying these, properties and rehabbing them and renting them or selling them.
You know, like I said, I haven't lived here that long. 14 years is not that long, but since I have been here, it's been nothing but downhill. I've found syringes in my fence line. I have to walk my fence line before I let my dogs and my kids out to play. I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
There's a bus stop at the top of my fence. I'm not replacing the top of my fence where people have sat on it and done whatever. There's been cars that have run into it. Nobody's doing anything about it, picking up the trash, nothing. That shouldn't be my responsibility to pick everybody's trash up and their syringes and drug bags and beer bottles and everything else. That's not something I should have to do daily.
I agree.
And then there was a nice wooded area across the street, but the guy that's supposedly owns the junk lot right there on Infirmary, bulldozed all that down. And now I'm just looking at a pile of broken trees and dirt, and the people that live at the 42 Davenport she was talking about, where they're dumping their waste in the creek, work for this guy, so they're taking their bulldozers back and forth and just doing whatever they want willy-nilly to this whole plat.
It's really bad, and I know it is because I've gotten out with some kids and we've picked up trash and we've seen the syringes and things that feces in bags and just people using, they discard. And we try to just do our part. It's really not your responsibility at all. A lot of this has happened over a period of time. It's for several years it's been going on. And so the fix is not gonna be quick. It's gonna take time. We need people to help out. And could keep reporting what you're saying, keep calling the police. It might not, when Captain Flagg is here, he says it all the time. Keep calling the police, even if it seems like nothing is getting done, just keep calling because it puts them on a list. And so that house starts to become a well-known house that at some point, hopefully, they'll go somewhere else because they see the police are always camped out there. But you have to keep calling, keep reporting, and it can get discouraging, but just hold on and just give us time. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take a lot of time, but we're really working, trying to do the best that we can, because it's like that in a lot of places. And it's really, really sad. It is. Yeah, actually, I came over on Davenport a couple of years back, and there was a guy that lived, Davenport is this way, it was a couple, I think the lights weren't on, but they were like old mobile homes that people were living in. They didn't have lights, they had some kind of makeshift thing, so that's probably been about 4 or 5 years ago. And so I can only imagine what it looks like now.
That whole plat is awful.
Yeah.
You know, the lady maker's talking about her house. There are some people who will buy that house from you because, believe it or not, some of these houses look like they should have been bulldozed, but they tore them completely down to the studs and rehabbed them because it was cheaper than getting all the updates of the new house. And they look like modern homes and gardens. So, but they would always ask me, who do you talk to? Couldn't find anybody in the township to let us know, but people want to buy these houses, even yours. So, you might want to, I'll talk to you after the meeting.
I was wondering, had anybody ever talked about speed bumps? Because there's a lot of speeding around, a lot of speeding. They put that speed trailer out and I don't know that it does anything but just lets people see how fast they're really going and they just go faster.
Are they going fast?
They go faster, like, oh, I'm just doing 35, I can go faster than that. So have you ever talked about,
After the incident on Easter, I talked with the sheriffs. I said, what's the protocol to getting speed bumps installed down through here? For what children we do have down in there, they need to be able to play. You're talking about the park that don't have no rims or nothing. The kids that live up the street from me, because there's no parks close. They have basketball hoop that their parents, somebody had bought them, that they put out to the road. It's dangerous for them to stand there and play in front of their own home because of how fast they're flying down the road.
Because I know a couple of years back they talked about speed bumps. Some people were for it, some people weren't. So it was kind of like, I don't know whatever happened, but that was several years ago. Yeah, I wrote it down, so, yeah.
Put everything down and see what we can get.
Now, Jefferson Township was approved for what, 19 houses to be demolished? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
I think it was 22, I think it was 22.
22?
Yeah, but they were just specific ones, and that was involved with the zoning guy and land bank, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So was any of those down on Lansdowne, Davenport, or Taft?
I don't know who's
I
up
thought there was,
there.
but I can't
I
think of
thought
it
that
now. I think there was.
Lansdowne, for
Land
sure.
bank sounds like they were.
I remember Lansdowne,
I'd have to go look at the
they brought that
list.
list out last year, and I remember seeing Lansdowne, it was a couple houses, I think, on Lansdowne. But,
Okay.
yes.
I have the list, but I just don't have it with me. I mean,
You do have it, you send it to me then?
Mhm.
Okay. That's right.
And you talking about the messes and for the people that actually do care about their community, what about sending out letters? Designating a day that we all get together, we all clean up, bag it up, set it out, somewhere or another, it gets to the right place to try to help somewhat of getting things cleaned up, straightened around.
So we were initially gonna have a special meeting on the 13th to kind of talk about those things.
Yes.
Zoning, code, the sheriff, all working together, but, unfortunately, we had to cancel the meeting. But those are some things that we're talking about, is scheduling things like that, because I said, I just believe that it takes all of us, 3 trustees and a fiscal officers, we're not gonna be able to do it by ourselves. And, if everybody just did their part, even if you just continue to take care of your own property, that's one property we don't have to worry about. But there were some letters that I actually brought to the trustees, and we wanted to send those out. So we have to revise the letters, was waiting on somebody to add something, but, doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So, we are looking at sending some letters. We should have a code enforcement officer coming in, so, we have to kind of find out where the old code enforcement officer left off at, and where we can pick up at instead of starting to create the wheel all over again. But those are some things we are looking at doing.
When Jefferson, down in there quite a few years back, the sheriff department got involved and brought out some prisoners and helped with the cleanup and stuff too. And we gotta start somewhere. We gotta do something to get things somewhat decent.
Yeah.
It has some cameras, and they're supposed to be moved around, right, the cameras, or is that just those speed cameras? I thought there was other cameras to catch
Well,
people.
There was like
Environmental.
for
Environmental
catch
trash.
people from dumping.
Yeah, have we moved them in that area to find out who these people
You
are?
don't know this, that's sheriff's call.
Right, but what you're talking about are all things that we've already been discussing. So I actually talked to the sheriff department yesterday about bringing no, it wasn't yesterday, last week sometime, about bringing the prisoners out. And when COVID happened, it kind of stopped. So they weren't able to do it, and now it's so much that needs to be done, they're even looking at bringing out the women from the women prison. So, the more the merrier, right? So, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, people, appreciate your input. So next thing on the agenda is resolutions for consideration. And,
30,
huh?
30.
Oh, you see me from having to look it up, thank you. So, the first resolution we're going to consider is Resolution 22-030, a resolution to temporarily employees pending background and motor vehicle check. So, pursuant to Section 2.5 of the Jefferson Township Human Resources Handbook, we are going to temporarily
Suspended or just pinned, just temporarily pinned, awaiting on the background check and the motor vehicle check, so that we can get people employed. because it's holding us up from them to get anybody to start working.
I mean, it's not like we're writing the book on this. This is being done in a lot of places, people having problems hiring people, and all kinds of people got employment, things out there. And I talked to a guy today that is on the waiting list, and I'm afraid he's gonna leave. He's been there almost 2 weeks now, waiting on his results to come back, and a lot of people will go and find no job. And so, anyway, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 22-030.
I second.
Any questions? If you're ready, Ms. Tracy, could you give us a roll call vote, please?
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes,
Trustee Bat.
Yes.
motion carries. Okay, so next resolution, resolution 22-031. Excuse me, the Jefferson Township Board of Trustees amend resolution 22-029, hiring of Kenneth B. Smith Jr. as our road and cemetery supervisor. It does not mean we're not hiring, it means we're making some changes in the original resolution we used to hire him. So I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution 22-031.
I accept, I'll second.
Any questions? Ms. Edwards again, please, when you're ready, may I have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes,
Trustee Bat.
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe that's all we have for resolutions. Next thing on the agenda is trustee reports. So here we give you a report on what we've done for the tax dollars you pay us. I'll go first. So, there again, I've been looking at the roads. You guys heard me, I talked to some suppliers for equipment. We don't have any equipment to do the job right. That's why our asphalt patches don't hold up. And then Sheila did show me some pictures, and I've seen spots in this township where we actually got to hire a contractor to do road work. There's a lot of things we can do. I've had several job interviews for different positions we have open. We have a good code enforcement guy on the waiting list for his background check to come. We'll be hiring him soon. We have a road superintendent and 2 mechanics. Because part of my campaign was something I found wrong that we did before was hiring repairs out. I like to run this township like I do my own business, my own farm, and live within my means, number 1. You don't spend more money you have. And number 2, if I can fix it, I'm gonna fix it. I'm not paying somebody else. I'm not spending your taxpayers' dollars to fix things that we can fix. So for that meeting, we're hiring, one guy was here before and did a good job. We're gonna hire 2 mechanics back, but working on that. Not necessarily for the township. We had a group of people come in. We are the builders that bought the old Ratcliffe School, and they're turning that thing around, make a technical school. So I donated 6 hours Saturday and helped them do a cleanup process on that, and that felt good. Give it to the township. We're working on, not myself, but somebody else is supposed to be working on, if it doesn't move, I'll help with it, but moving on a Township Cleanup Day. We want a day where basically you set anything you want out the street within limits, and the trash people pick it up, beyond your normal fit in a green can kind of trash. So, but that paperwork, I definitely stay busy writing my check. So, Sheila, you're next, that's all we got.
All right, I returned several, calls, for residents. I went out and assessed vacant and abandoned vehicles, nuisance houses, cars in a certain area, it's so many. I contacted Miami Valley Planning, to find out more information about our code enforcement, policies and more information about that. I interviewed for I will interview for an administrator's position on Friday, and I interviewed a person for the cleaning position for this building. Did some volunteer work on Saturday with We Are the Builders, and I attended the Sheriff Easter Egg Hunt, which was really, really nice. It's usually held every year, and I'm sure, hopefully, it'll be next year, but if you weren't able to make it out this year, please put that on your calendar for next year, or watch the website so we can make sure, because a lot of people showed up and it was really nice. At Artificial Park, yes. And just, I really like about the Jefferson Township Cleanup Day. That sounds like a really good, they used to have it was Keep Montgomery County Grant, Keep Montgomery County Beautiful, and they used to bring out the trailer, they brought out all the pickers, they brought up the jackets and everything, but they're no longer doing that. But there are other ways we can do a cleanup day, so I think that'll be something really nice. I think that's really about all. I did more, but that's all I have right now.
One more.
Yes.
One more. My neighbor, you know what I'm gonna say?
Oh, we rode past,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I just say I talked to him, cause he had got on me, are you going to the meeting? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, good enough said, enough said.
Is the bus gone?
No,
It's not?
no.
Okay. Ooh, my.
Sure.
Yeah, I had to call the sheriff, because it should have been gone.
Hey, every day call the sheriff, and they give him a new story.
No, I just like the fact that I took a
I
picture
know,
of it.
every day he calls them, when he calls them, they give him a new story about the bus. The man says he's gonna pick it up. I said, he says, call it. You got it. I said, I
They
don't
put
know
a
who to call.
yellow sticker, or a red sticker on that.
Orange, a big bright orange sticker.
It's supposed to tow it.
He put letters all around the bus saying.
Yes, he did. He's
out.
out of town. Don't tell him he's out of town.
But they
Okay.
gave him a ultimatum, if you don't have it by this
Right,
day,
but they
you
should have
tow
been
it.
told, because we've been dealing with this for
Supposed to
some
be
time.
on the
Yeah,
11th.
it's two different months.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to answer me. I just wanted you to shake your head. So
Yeah,
can
so
say,
I forgot
I'll talk to
that
you.
we stopped over there and checked on the bus.
You didn't say that. I just wanted you to shake your head.
Yes, we did do that. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
Great.
We are adjourned at 7:50. Not too bad.
Mr. Moore, how you doing tonight? Would anybody be interested in being on a BZA or zoning commission? Do we need people?
Thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for your input.
We need people on various committees. We need